Technology is racist, it's sexist, it's ageist, it's ableist, all of these things, okay? This is actually a really fantastic bit of reporting from ProPublica. Facebook is letting job advertisers target only men. Now, the story actually talks about how it's targeting, there's some advertisers that target only women too. I don't know why they framed it specifically this way, but this story is actually something that's persisted for a while, and I've skimmed through a bit of it, and I looked at they have examples. It's pretty crazy. Basically, when you buy an ad on Facebook, you can choose who to target. For the most part, it's kind of innocent. If I want to sell, like Axe body spray, I don't want to market to women. It's a waste of money. You want to market to men. That's what your product is for. So there are some products that are specifically for certain people, for certain hair types, right? There's like specific products for dreadlocks, for, you know what I mean. And so it makes sense. However, because this technology exists, it's used in such a way where companies will only advertise to either men or women. But apparently this is a controversy because I think it actually might be illegal. So let's take a look at what ProPublica is actually talking about. Hundreds of thousands of Americans drive for Uber, and the company is looking for many more. It runs ads on Facebook that say, for example, driving towards something, make extra money when it works for you and get there faster. Another touts, earn $1,100 in Nashville for your first 200 trips, limited time guarantee, terms apply. There's just one catch. Many of those ads are not visible to women. And this is actually really interesting too, because I don't have the study pulled up, but Uber actually does have data showing that men make more money than women on Uber. And this was a big debate about this because a lot of people talk about the gender wage gap, right? But with Uber, you drive when you want to drive. You drive as fast as you want to drive. You pick up who you want to pick up, sort of. And so the idea was, how can Uber have a wage gap if there's no boss to decide to pay you more or less? The app pays everybody the same. What they found was men are willing to drive at higher, better times. They're willing to drive in specific areas, and they drive a whole lot faster. And what that means is driving faster means they can pick more people up and take more fares. And that results in, the base pay, I think, for Uber is $8. So imagine if you've got a trip that would normally only cost $5 in a cab, you get a minimum. And so if the guys can do this a lot, and that's what was happening. So there was a wage gap. But that also means that Uber is making more money off men. Seriously, if guys are generating more revenue, picking up more fares and dropping them off more than women and driving in more valuable areas, Uber is going to make more money off of those people. Then when we hear that Uber is making ads that aren't visible to women, I have to wonder why. I can make an assumption. My assumption is Uber said men are more likely to respond to the ad, but they also drive more hours and make more money, so target men. We'll see what they said. A ProPublica review of Facebook ads found that many purchased by Drive with Uber, the company's recruiting arm, targeted only men in more than a dozen cities across the US. Our survey of 91 Uber ads found just one targeting only women. 3 did not target a specific sex. 91 ads only for men. And first of all, there's a big problem with this. It is illegal to discriminate based on sex. And so here you have an issue where through advertising, they might not be discriminating against who they hire, but I would argue that by only looking for men, you're kind of discriminating against women. But the other question I bring up, I think is important. Why would they do that? Is there some data to suggest hiring a man would be better than a woman? Certainly Uber wouldn't take out ads to do this if they didn't see a benefit as a business, right? And what I mean to say is Uber looks at data and they probably say, this is what we want. They've probably, I would assume, right, these are just assumptions, that Uber looked at their data and found that men respond better to these ads, so why waste money on women? Maybe I'm wrong. You know what? It's entirely possible the recruiting arm is totally sexist and just said, we just want men anyway. But there's no bosses at Uber. There's literally no downside to advertising to women unless it is true that men and women are behaving differently within how Uber functions. And if they're going to make more money off men, they're going to advertise to men. I have to wonder if that's actually illegal. So they said they were all gathered as part of our Facebook political ad collector project, in which readers sign up to send us the ads they see in their newsfeeds. The review found Uber to be among 15 employers in the past year who have advertised jobs on Facebook exclusively to one sex. Many of the ads seem to target in accordance with stereotypes. The Pennsylvania State Police, for example, boosted a post targeted to men with texts saying, Pennsylvania State Troopers earn a starting salary of $59,567 per year. Apply now. And what? A Michigan-based truck company took out ads targeting not just men, but men interested in college football. So targeting men this one doesn't make sense. It says they boosted a post targeting men saying become a cop. Oh, okay, just men. I understand that. Okay. And then this one's funny because a truck company was looking for people who are fans of college football. Why? Why would they do that? And a community health center in Idaho sought nurses and certified medical assistants and limited its audience to women. And there we go. It's not just about women. The discrimination, whatever it is, companies know this. This is what's really crazy. You've got our culture right now is saying you shouldn't be sexist, gender stereotypes are bad. Why are these businesses doing this then? Is it because of stereotypes? When it comes to Uber, these big companies don't operate off of feelings, right? They operate off of data. These are massive companies with huge investors, and all they want to do is maximize profits. It's possible, okay? It is possible they're sexists and they just don't want to promote women. But I really doubt that, especially when you see that nursing and certified medical assistants was targeting only women. I have to imagine the reason is, for one, there's a possibility the data shows the ads work. Like if you advertise to men, like imagine this. Imagine if you made an ad that said, we're looking for men interested in college football who would like to be a nurse. Do you think they would accept that ad? They would respond to it? I don't know. I'm going to assume the answer is no, but I'm not a sociologist, so I could be wrong. The point is, these companies believe these things to be true. And I believe in some circumstances, they probably have data to back this up. Because another thing that people should keep in mind, these companies sometimes, I don't know about these specific companies, but companies employ marketing professionals who know how to deliver ads. I'll also point this out. When I was a fundraiser for nonprofits, guaranteed, men and women behave differently towards each other. It was ridiculously easy for me to sign up women to become members of nonprofits than compared to men, and the inverse was true for women. So we would actually go out in pairs. When I would approach a man, he'd be skeptical and it would be a tough sale, but I was able to sign them up. However, for women, it was much, much easier. The rapport was easier and it was easier to communicate. And the same was true for the other manager who worked with me, because we would go out at the same time. She would be able to sign up men very easily and women not as easily, though, admittedly, I believe that women were able to better sign up men and women more so than men. Like, a woman could sign up a woman would be more successful than a man signing up a man. And I think one thing that was explained to me is that women are just less threatening, more welcoming, and whatever the reason. But whether or not any of that's true, I don't know. There could be stereotypes, there could be social stigmas. The point is, these companies behave this way. So I barely even got through this article, but I want to highlight the specific examples they have. So what's really interesting about this is that apparently Facebook tells you when this happens. So it says, sometimes advertisers don't seem to recognize they're excluding users by gender. The city of Omaha, for example, advertised a job for a civil rights investigator. Among the duties listed, investigating discrimination charges and processing complaints alleging discrimination in employment. The ad was set to be shown only to women. Okay, but I just have to point out that whoever did that probably didn't think you could discriminate against men, because that is a widely held belief among people in the far left. So it's entirely possible somebody who was interested in investigating discrimination didn't think it was possible to discriminate against men. Maybe, I don't know. All I know is ProPublica accurately points out how incorrect this is. I'm digging this. I read ProPublica sometimes, but this is really well done. Although the headline specifically talks about things only for men, they do dig into how it's total gender discrimination across the board. Women get discriminated against, men get discriminated against. It's really interesting how they frame this. And they show this clip. It says, one reason you're seeing this ad is that City of Omaha Human Resources Department wants to reach people interested in human rights based on activity such as liking pages or clicking ads. There may be other reasons you're seeing this. It says they want to reach women ages 18 and older who live or were recently in the United States. This is information based on your Facebook profile and where you've connected to the internet. So I believe this is Facebook showing the metrics, the metadata behind the ad, who it was targeting. And they have a bunch of this. I can't go through the entire article, unfortunately, but they show a bunch of these ads on Facebook. Women ages 18 to 20, so more discrimination against men. Then you have women ages 27, more just for women, more just for women. Another, this is the same one as before. Then we have another one just for women. Here's the one that's just for men. So I guess here's my question. ProPublica is documenting all of these instances where companies are choosing to discriminate against men or women. Like take this trucking company, for instance. It's looking for men. It's a trucking company. Why is that? Is it possible that there are differences between men and women where a man would want to be a trucker and a woman wouldn't? Is it social? Is it biological? Don't ask me. All I know is ProPublica has dug this up and found that companies behave this way. I do entirely believe that it can be simply societal, that sociological or whatever, because you have these companies who, I mean, look, an old dude who's running a trucking company is probably going to be like, yeah, we're going to get some nice trucker guys. But I would actually wonder, because we know that women are better snipers on average, right? Because they, for whatever the reason, I'm not an expert, but I've read a bunch of stories about how women make better snipers because they can sit still for longer periods of time. I would wonder if women would make better truck drivers. And if not, why would that be the case? Or is it that neither would be different at all because you're driving a truck and the differences between men and women are so slight that it wouldn't have an impact on truck driving? All I can say is these companies are still using this kind of workaround, essentially, to choose who they want. Because if you don't want to hire a man, then you only have to advertise to women, and your applicants will only be women. And they say, "Oh, we didn't discriminate against them. That's the only people who applied." So I really want to see what their conclusion to this story is. They point out that T-Mobile declined to comment, but the last paragraph is actually right here. They say Ryan Tarkowski, communications director for the Pennsylvania State Police, says their Facebook ad targeting men was also part of a larger recruitment campaign that included women and other groups with other ads. He says the full strategy is designed to increase diversity among the troopers, and the ads are run by a third-party advertising agency. Boom, there it is. So this is actually interesting. It's possible that these are singled out, that these specific ads that only target men and women were designed just for men, but there are other ads just for women. Maybe that's the case. At any rate, I think it's interesting to see that companies, regardless of why they do it, are spending money through third-party agencies that selectively that choose either a man or a woman, which would imply men and women respond to different things, and then I'd have to ask why. Anyway, stick around. I've got another video coming up in just a few minutes.